how are you?
I'm good. I'm just playing with some crystals here.
Oh, yes, girl. I got my crystals with me today.
I know. Well, I pulled a card, and we'll get into that. But soda light was the card, so we can get into that. And then, of course, I've got some clear quartz to clear the space and give us some protection as well, and then help me focus because I'm always ping ponging.
Help me stop shaking. You probably can't see it.
I
Uh,
know.
It's steady, but my heart beats pretty fast. Okay, so anyways, hi guys. Welcome to another episode of Flipping the Script with Joy and Becky. And today we're on episode 15. And we're going to talk about UFOs, something about a mothership ported in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear everything that you have researched because I'm not a big one to get into the news and the 3D stuff. So whatever you found out, I'm very interested in. And I've also pulled some cards too from this deck, the Work Your Light deck, and they're pretty interesting as far as Pleiades and Lemuria and things like that. So yeah, we've got some fun stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, we do. I'm excited. I'm light and sage as usual. So I'm clearing out any negative vibes, any lower vibes, any mischievous vibes that don't need to be here. We only want high vibes, high vibrational vibes, messages from our guides and source and the galactic beings that help us. The ones that we already know about. Because if honestly, if UFOs were going to do anything, they would have done it a long time ago. They are way more advanced than we are.
Well, they are doing something. They're just not doing what we're being told by the government that they're doing.
But yeah, because they have a narrative. Of course, they want to control it and control what people think and what people see.
Mhm.
And the best thing about it is we don't have to. We can think for ourselves,
Yep. We can discern and differentiate between true and false. And, for me, watching the news, there's so much being cast. There's a reason it's called newscasting and broadcasting because, it's
That's
casting.
exactly what I'm
Yeah.
actually, transmuting right now. All of that stuff. So yeah, and honestly, I didn't really do research. I'm not that interested in knowing what
Okay.
this is. I don't want to create that, but I know that if you I have a couple of links, and they're in the description. So after the video is completed, I'll update all that. But the one thing I did share was the just the search. If you go on the internet, any search engine right now, any search engine, and you type in Pentagon and Mothership,
Hmm.
and it will come up with a whole bunch of stuff. So you can do that on your own. Anyone can do that. But I was like, I just was more interested in the fact that right now you can go on there and see all that.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah,
right.
the fact that it's being disclosed on a national level by the government is showing you that we definitely have something going on. They want to definitely hold on to the narrative and then control where it goes. But honestly, the fact that they're showing this kind of thing, it shows you that they've lost control over what's happening, and this is kind of just a far reach of trying to regain that narrative and that way to
Hail Mary.
storytell.
It's what they call a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
It's last ditch effort, and they're throwing all of their eggs in this basket to try to keep us asleep, and not questioning anything, trying to fix them. But yeah, I was really surprised that it's so open and available now. And the problem I have with that is none of it says that they've been here since the beginning. The only one that does is Ancient Aliens. If you've watched newer episodes, which I do watch Ancient Aliens because even before my awakening, I was learning stuff about there's no way they could have made those cuts on those stones, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. There's
That,
so much we don't have time in the day to go through
I
every
know.
episode.
Well, that's why there's 18 seasons or are they at 18 seasons, or is there another 19th
There's
season? Yeah.
probably more, but now if you listen to the intro, it says we are not alone. We have
Mhm.
never been alone. So
Yeah.
they've
I know
been
their newest intro, when I heard it, I was like, "Oh my God." Like it sparked so much in me But yeah, I've watched probably every episode, if not up until the last, because I got rid of cable in 2020. So that had to go. But my sister gave me her Hulu information, so I can go back and watch. And I think I have up to
That's
season
awesome.
18. So yeah, I've been watching them recently. But they have this effect on me where it puts me into a hypnotic sleep, and I integrate a lot of the information, and then I wake up in almost like a trance state. So
Yep.
it's interesting for me because if I want to go to sleep, I'll turn on Ancient Aliens and just let them play over and over, and it's like it's subconsciously highlighting something inside of me, like waking something up inside of me. But yeah, there's so much stuff that it's definitely those have been a big wake up for me. I remember when my mother came over the day that I started to wake up, and she told me about the whole Hillary in the yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to get something about in the woods, and we'll not get into that
I'll
those
get
details.
into that.
Yeah, but I started waking up, and I just kept saying to her, because she says we're in a spiritual war, and I said, "Well, I've watched Ancient Aliens, so I'm well equipped. Like I know how I know everything. Like I just remember I kept saying, I know I've watched every episode. I know all of it. Like I don't know why I kept telling her over and over, like I believe you. I know it. But then all these memories started coming back of different experiences that I've had with entities that are I don't want to say like from other from anywhere else. I think they're interdimensional, as far as space and time and travel and all of that stuff. I don't know. you know, but I think they're here. I think that we can, whether they're on a different planet and we can connect through dimensions, or if they're actually on Earth. I don't know. I don't have those I definitely think that there are some here. But I think we can also connect with some that are not here as well.
Are here. The what happened. So what actually happened with me was I saw Out of Shadows, and actually coming up on my anniversary too. My anniversary of my awakening is April 10th, and it was Easter weekend. It was a very powerful weekend for me because I learned a lot. I'll just say that. But one of the things I learned was from the map I found, and from the letter 17, and so I have to be cryptic, sorry. So anyways, I found this map, and I started looking at it, like what's on this map, and I mean, there's different areas of the map you can look at. Down, I think it's at the bottom where all of the like spiritual stuff is, the Rainbow Warriors stuff, and then I saw something that said the Galactic Federation, and I was like, and something hit me like, what is the Galactic Federation of Light? Like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to go research it, and what I found was absolutely amazing, because I was like, oh, so people have been in touch with them for a long time already.
Mm-hmm.
What? Why do we not know about this? Why are people keeping this quiet? What is going on? And so it just makes you dig more into it. And so I found a website called Into the Light.news. Sorry, Into the News. No, Into the Light.news. And I started researching, and there's all kinds of, there's like your Ascension glossary, that this was into the Light.news for me, and so I was like, oh my God, there's I don't know, ascended masters. Oh my God, Jesus is an ascended master. So when that happened to him, he ascended, and then oh, okay, so he's been working with us this entire time. He never left. He's just not, he's hidden. It's hidden. And all of this information is hidden. And they call it Gnostic. And then you go into research, and then I fell into Dolores Cannon and all of her with Jesus and the Essenes, and then learning about all that. Oh my gosh, there's so much left out. Like, if you just stick to the religion, you're like in this little tiny box.
Oh,
and
yeah.
over here is like all this information, like all this wisdom, and it's like, Wow. Oh my God, my mind is blown. Like, and then I started getting memories,
Mm-hmm.
big time, like memories of abductions. Like when I was abducted, the first time I was abducted, I was 18 months old. And the reason I say that, because obviously I don't remember, is because this is what guidance has told me and my intuition has told me. And we're to trust the information that comes to us at certain times, especially when we're asking for it. So that's information we need to trust, and I took it as my own. So the first abduction that I experienced was at 18 months. I don't remember anything other than that. But my parents couldn't find me and they found me outside. And I was only 18 months old, and the area we were in, like, I have an older sister, like there was people around, so it was really weird that I would have been outside. And my it just is, and then after that I was abducted as a child. And this is what messed with me, because what I remember is these beings tried to dress up as like stuffed animals to try not to scare me. Like, they didn't want to frighten me. They tried to be as gentle as possible, but I was terrified because I knew that it wasn't a stuffed animal. And so after that, my parents had to remove all of the stuffed animals out of my room, and we saw ET. And ET scared the fuck out of me because I had already had visitations and I was already really sensitive to it. So it scared me. It wasn't fun to me when I saw ET. I mean, Drew Barrymore is like, what, a couple years older than me. Like, we're in the same age range. So I was about her age when she made that movie. So that and that stuck out to me too. Like, and then after that, I remember one time I was at a friend's house and just partying or whatever. And I know I was welcome to sleep on the bed. Like, we were friends. Like, I could sleep on the bed and no, it's like nothing, it's fine. And for some reason, I was like, no, I'm going to smoke this weed and I'm going to sit by the window and chill for a minute. I was out. I was gone. I don't remember anything after that. And when I came to, and that never happened to me. I've never passed out. I've never had a blackout. I've never been that drunk. I have a very tight grip on reality and my mind. I always have. So I was like, I didn't understand what happened. I like came to when he woke up. I obviously was put back in my body because he was waking up. So I had to. And so they put me back. I came to. I didn't wake up. I know what waking up feels like, and that wasn't waking up.
Yeah.
So I came to, and I was really disoriented after that. Very disoriented. I couldn't think correctly. I wasn't. He thought something was seriously wrong with me. Like, I think he never saw me again after that. Like, literally, I was out of it. I don't know what happened. Anyways, that came to me and I was like, yeah, that definitely happened. And then one more thing after that. Okay, first of all, I would like, with me bringing up abductions, is we want to place protection around every single person that's listening, because if you say the word abduction, they generally come in and do it. I don't know how that works. It's like a green light. So you think abduction, you say abduction, and then they do it. That's how I found out about it when I was working overnights. And
So it's kind of like you got to make sure you revoke your consent. Take that back. Don't give consent to that.
consenting to any abductions at all whatsoever, and none of my viewers or listeners are consenting to any abductions whatsoever. So anyways, moving along. Was investigating abductions and then got abducted. So all I did was go outside to smoke a cigarette. When I came back in, I was really disoriented. I couldn't think correctly. I was having vertigo, like where your eyes move, like you were dizzy. And I went to the hospital because I thought I had a seizure, and I thought something was seriously wrong with me. And so I went and got checked, but there's nothing other than they saw that I did have vertigo because my eyes were doing a twitchy thing. And they were like, you're fine, just, go get rest. Didn't think anything of it, just kept going about my business. But there's a reason why those memories have come up, so that I could recognize that that is exactly what has taken place, because my memories are being activated properly. And everybody is going to have similar experiences with our DNA is activated. So you may have dreams, we may have memories come up, something might trigger something. It's okay to feel it. You don't need to be afraid because we're always protected now. And the more conscious you are of it, like I just did, put protection on everyone. That is your protection is your intention, your consciousness. So just being conscious and aware of it takes their power away. I don't know how all that works, but it's almost like black magic, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you want to differentiate because they're not not all ETs or alien entities are negative. There's a difference between them. There's the negative alien agenda and the AI, and a lot of people don't realize that AI is actually not just it's not just technology. Like there's an actual it's a species. It's an alien species that's called AI. And so people hear AI and they think artificial intelligence and they're thinking the Terminator and robots and things like that. And yeah, it's along those lines, but it's more. There's more to it than that. It's not just talking about technology. Now that's all integrated and they work through that and that kind of thing as well, but it goes deeper. And if you go on ascensionglossary.com, it's like my favorite go-to. They do talk about the NAA and a lot of these topics as well. So if you have any questions, it's kind of like Wikipedia for Ascension. So ascensionglossary.com, it's like my favorite. Go there and look up, the AI and the negative alien agenda. And it definitely tells you a lot of stuff. But there are also a lot of positive aliens that are out there who are working for us. And that would be one of my favorites. I definitely can say that I connect with the Lyrans or Lyrans, however you say it, and the Pleiadians,
Yeah.
and also the Andromedans. And then I am not Arcturian, but I have a connection with the Arcturians, if that makes any sense.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. All of
Yeah.
that is
So I
true for
work with them, but I'm not one of them. I definitely have had an experience with a Pleiadian in my home, where I walked out the door. I was going to take my daughter to work. To school, take my daughter to school. I was walking out the door, taking her to work, and I forgot my water. So I run back in the house real quick and to go grab my water. And he was not expecting me. Very tall, blonde hair, all in white clothing, and caught him kind of like in peripheral, you know what I mean? Like in my peripheral view, and then he disappeared. But he had this look on his face like, oh crap, like you're not supposed to see me. Like, you know what I mean? Like he let his guard down and then thinking that I was gone, and then I boom came back in the house. So yeah, I've had one of those experiences, and I was like, whoa, at first I'm like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Because when you imagine something, you can't remember exactly what when you see something out of peripheral, a little something, I immediately knew who he was. You know what I mean? Like I recognized him. I can tell you exactly what his facial features were. He was like a surfer looking dude. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to say it. Like the blonde curly hair. He just looked like he came off of a wave from somewhere,
that's awesome. I love it.
um, yeah, so that happened one day, and I was like, okay, that was weird. That was right at the beginning of my awakening journey. And then I've also had these, I don't know how, there's like not a way to describe them. They are almost like, I want to call them little baby dragons. Little, like these little fur ball things that I don't see their physical form. I see light pinging off of different things in the house. And then I get an image in my mind of what they are. That's kind of how they communicate with me. Is I don't see their physical form. I see, or I'll get a thought, and then their form or their image will come into my mind, and then they'll ask me whether I'm in the resonance of allowing them. And then there's been one that wanted to connect with me, and it just gave me this really bad feeling, like a fear feeling. And I knew immediately, like, no, if I'm in fear, then that shows me that that's not the frequency that I want to tune to. And so that's a lot of how we can protect ourselves as well, is to, if you're coming from a place of love or a place of neutrality, then let's connect. But if it's coming from a place where I feel afraid, then no, I do not want to connect.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing is with my memories, they weren't necessarily bad. in fact, I think what was going on was I was receiving, because I was I was born in 77, and my specific hybrid hologram, I guess that's how you want me to put it. Yeah. They had to work on me, and so it wasn't necessarily bad or good or anything. It just had to be. And so and that came through very strongly. A lot of the work that has been done, or the things that have been done with me, have been consensual on a soul level. So I planned on it. Like, I knew I was coming in as a hybrid, and I knew that I may have to have tweaks here and there, to help me adjust and live properly. And so through the years, the medical industry, because they know exactly who we are at any given time, they know our
They know our birth charts. They know who's coming in when, and they also track
yeah.
our blood types and that kind of thing, and our DNA and that kind of thing. So we
so,
definitely have things that know who we are.
so in my case, the beings were benevolent, friendly, and the medical industry did experimenting on me, where I had to sit through, and they made me drink charcoal so they could watch it's called a bolus. When you have a piece of food in your throat and it's going through your system, they call it a bolus. That's the proper term or whatever, but they wanted to see it go through my system. And so I don't know, they did that shit to me a lot. I mean, I had all of the um initial injections. I don't know what to call them, because they actually, I guess they were real vaccinations, or some of them were anyway. Anyways, or maybe they weren't. I don't know. But at any rate, all of that stuff, it's all like a big puzzle. And like, when we wake up, like, we start putting all these pieces together, like, how this happened, why did that happen, and you start figuring things out. And that's what started to happen with me. And I found out, like, okay, so there's a difference between like your higher self and like the galactic beings that you work with. And I know that for myself, like, I work with beings that are a positive creative force, that have a lot of life force energy. They're usually working on behalf of the divine, which is source, which is God, which is him, he, she, whatever you want, whatever is comfortable for you. For me, I was raised with a he, which was kind of a toxic masculine God. So for me personally, when I got in touch with source, it was more of a feminine type energy. It's whatever resonates with you. But
See, and I resonate Archangel Michael.
yeah, and
That's
Archangel,
definitely, but you have to be careful because Archangel Michael, there is a like an anti. I don't know how to phrase this with it sounding right. There's a lot of false light around Archangel Michael because things have been hijacked. So when I talk to Michael, I know I have to make sure that it's coming from the right place and that I'm not
and you
connected.
can tell by the frequency, and also
Yeah.
intention. Like, intention is everything. So as you usually, like, for me, what my guides have told me, because I generally don't not generally, I don't have bad intentions on people, period. So when I tap in, like, for myself, my intention is to tap into high vibrational Michael, and I will call him. And this right here is his sigil. I learned that, I guess, whatever, in a protection class. But at any rate, so when I call in my Archangel Michael, I'm like, Archangel Michael, and I ask him to come in and fill us with blue light. And I just earlier today did a pillar of light, a pillar of blue light protection around my friend. Anyways, around my friend Eve, I'll just leave that. And because I was helping her out with some things and some energy, and I was like, Archangel Michael, let's put some protection and blue light. So I was asking to put a pillar of light around her. That's awesome. But yeah, intentions are
I
everything.
know
And
that's funny. I got the blue. I got the The blue crystals and the pillar of light.
It's awesome. And today, yeah, I didn't share. I forgot. I got my obsidian crystal. I love my obsidian. It was a big piece and I broke it apart. My dad had it as a big piece, but I broke it up because I was like, I need to share it with people.
Oh, cool.
And this is the big rose quartz chunk. Your rose quartz is on my altar, so it's busy right now. But this one I brought over to share, and then my amethyst cluster, because I've had this, I don't know how long I've had it, a long time. And then my rainbow aura crystal.
Ooh, pretty.
Cluster, yeah, I had to have it. I was like, oh, I want it.
Oh, let me take that in. Yeah.
But
So
yes.
my Reiki group this morning, she did a little, the lead, she did a little, prayer for our podcast today too, to, help with manifesting, whatever it is that we need to manifest out of it. So
Whatever it is,
yeah,
being there for people. Hopefully someone will hear a message they need to hear. But yeah,
exactly. Through time and space, So anyway, but yeah, I did a couple of little readings. And then the first one, of course, was about our podcast, and that a favorable outcome was the card that I pulled regarding the podcast and what we're gonna achieve in this video today. So hopefully it's a favorable outcome. Not hopefully, it is a favorable outcome, whatever it is, because it's definitely helping us in some way. And then I'm getting like a lot of this one. The second one that I pulled was Pay Attention to Your Dreams with Archangel Michael. And I get this one a lot, mostly because it's got Archangel Michael right on. And these cards are Doreen Virtue. She's no longer practicing with us, but she is still one of my favorite authors. And then, so anyway, this is probably my favorite card here out of this whole deck. And it's so beautiful to me. And if you look in the middle, like it looks like it says Dave, like Diva or Deva with a little triangle. And to me, that's like the divine union. It's got the masculine of the triangle and then the Deva right in the middle. So it's also the sun too. So, that's like speaks to me so much. So, and then when I read about that, or when I don't even have to read the cards because I have them pretty much memorized at this point. I've had them for so long. But it talks about writing down your dreams. And then when I pulled my Work Your Light oracle cards, two of them were about writing down, raising the vibes and writing things down. So I was like, all right, so we're raising the vibes, we're writing things down, we're going to have a favorable outcome, and we're going forward fearlessly. So that is the future card of where we're going to go from this point forward. Is definitely going forward fearlessly, and we're going forward fearlessly into heaven on earth. So, yeah. And then, yeah, I showed you the Pleiades and Pillar of Light ones already. Those are the first two I pulled. So, we're definitely working with higher states of consciousness, higher beings, to activate your connection with them. Just, they cannot intercede. They cannot go against your consent and against your free will. You have to ask. So if you would like to have connection with your star family, it's important that you ask for it and make sure that you're using that frequency. Make sure that you're using your discernment. And like I said before, if you're feeling a feeling of fear, then the answer is no. So you can ask, but you can always say no after. So if you ask for someone to connect with you and then you get a feeling of not liking that feeling or something negative, anything negative, then you automatically revoke your consent, say no, I no longer feel comfortable, and close the communication. So yeah.
Say goodbye, don't just leave. Say goodbye, close the connection. That's the proper way to do it. But yeah, because like I said, intentions are everything. But yeah, earlier we were talking about our galactic origins a little bit too.
That's funny you said intentions, because that's what Soda Light said. Clear expression of intentions.
Right? I'm telling you, intentions, everything. Like, if you want the best for people, that's all that matters.
Mhm.
Just send that energy out, you
Oh
know?
my gosh. Did I send it to you? Something about the liquid death. Did I send that to you, that video? Okay, so liquid death apparently, this is just on a Facebook reel, so I don't know if it's 100% or if it's true or whatnot. But apparently, someone is saying that they're casting spells on this liquid death water to put demons into people or whatever. So today, when I was walking by the liquid death in the Walmart, I put my hand up. It's like I am healing,
In
I am. That's the thing. We can set our intentions on whatever we want, whatever we're near, whatever we can think of,
I
whatever
do
we can imagine. Change it.
I
Change
do have
those intentions.
intentions or everything. What was I thinking? Hold on one second. Oh, when you were talking about the Terminator, did you know that the Terminator is a prequel to the Matrix?
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, that's cool.
Terminator is a prequel to the Matrix. I was like, whoa, I was blown away because I didn't know they were written by the same person. I had no clue. No
Well, if
clue.
you think about it, yeah, and then that pretty much tells you right there what's the negative alien agenda. It's to put us all to sleep so that we can be batteries, so that we can be whatever it is that they need us to be, and we live in a dream world. Well, we're already there. It's just not the exact same way that it looks like, where we're in these sleeping pods, or maybe we are.
It's simply
Maybe we are. We don't know, but we can change the dream, and that's what the whole thing is showing you, is that Neo's going back into the matrix, and he's changing himself, and through changing himself, he changes the world around him. And so that's what we're doing, is we're changing ourselves, and then that changes our world. And then the more people that are doing this, then the more widespread it is. You know what I mean? So the more we wake up, other people around us, and then the more it activates others.
yeah, the butterfly effect on that too is
Yeah.
amazing if you
Oh,
think
and
about
quantum entanglement right there.
big time.
Yeah,
But yeah,
positive vibe, positive vibes.
yes, yes, please. I'll take it. I'll take all the positive vibes. Mm. I was thinking you touched on our galactic origins a little bit. And when I first woke up, I have a friend named Monique that's from, I think she's in Germany. And she did one for free. And the first time I ever heard of what galactic origin I came from was Lyran. And so I went and I did some research on that, and I found videos from numerologists. And I'll probably end up putting that in the description too. But and he gives a beautiful description of the Lyran group, and our home planet was destroyed.
Yeah,
So
Mintaka, how do you say it? Yeah.
yeah, so
And it
what
was a
happened?
water world, and I have memories of that. I have memory, like that's why I love being in the water so much. I resonate. My name, Gypsy Soul Surfer. Like, it's so, like, my name is interdimensional. It means more than just what it means. Like, it comes from so much. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Please do, because this is where we relate to each other big time because our origins are the same, and
Yeah.
generally people that we resonate with are from the same place.
Hmm.
I
I like.
but yeah, so like learning about the Lyran group. They're like the Lyran group that I tapped into was feline, and so it was more of a humanoid with fur, but was a human with hands and feet and standing, and with cat features or lion features or cheetah features, and we have multiple different colors and features. And that a lot of us with the black eyeliner, we're that's where we get that from. Like we get, and also Egypt.
Yeah,
Um,
I was just thinking Cleopatra. That reminds me, or Egypt. I was thinking of that old movie with Charleston Heston.
oh my God, yeah. What is that? I can't remember. It'll come.
Was it Moses? I don't. I think it was the Ten. No, is that the one? No, the one with Mark Antony, isn't it? I can't remember.
I
Uh,
know. Look, so
it's interesting that you talk about like feline stuff. I just in my meditation this morning, we did a past life regression meditation, and I saw myself in a past life as a tiger,
mm,
and I like saw the little baby tiger. I saw myself as a little baby tiger. I saw myself living in like a jungle, like I was a hunter, and I just love to lay in the sun. I could see my white belly like laying like, belly up in the sun. And then I remember like having native people or like I don't know, because it was like in India or somewhere over like Asia, somewhere over there. Sri Lanka, I think, is the name that came to me. And so they had these little these things that they were shooting at me like with the poison to knock me out. And then I was taken and put into a cage, and but there was a girl who I watched grow up, and then she spent her life with me. So, it was sad to be in a cage from going, you know,
yeah,
and then yeah, blow dirt. Thank
exactly.
you. But yeah, it was sad to see myself going from freedom to being in a cage. But um,
Mm,
it
yeah,
it it shows you kind of like then I incarnated into this life. And so it's kind of, and my name Rebecca means to be bound, or to bind or to be bound. So if you think about it, it's kind of like fortuitous that I went from freedom to being bound, and then into a new life of maybe being bound and then finding freedom again. And so it was kind of the opposite and that I'm going through in this life. So yeah, I thought
exactly.
that's pretty cool.
Awesome and beautiful. I love that. What came to me when she told me that, and I started to do research, and anybody can do this. You just have to ask for personal disclosure. Like you said, it's you have to ask, otherwise it doesn't happen.
Mhm.
But so for me, mine was that I lived as a Lyran in the Pleiades with Pleiadians of all different kinds of different. I mean, Pleiadians is kind of like saying human. There's so many different shapes and forms and energies. Some like us, some don't. Just like us, um, they are mostly high vibrational. They don't have duality, and so that's why we choose to come here in a human form, is so that we can experience duality and have that polarity, because they don't have that mostly higher vibrational um, knowledge, wisdom, and how to figure things out. They're very smart, just like you said, Arcturine. Um, I'll share stuff for you, Blake, so we can do that. But yeah, the other life. Oh, yeah. So I stayed as a Lyran being with the Pleiadians. And so when I incarnated again, I went back as a Pleiadian again. So I've been with them a long time. Um, yeah, I that's what I remember, being the Oracle, being the High Priestess, being the spiritualist. And there's many planets. There's many, many, many people, or not people, but beings there in there. And I get a lot of visions and a lot of energy sent to me, like feelings. So I interpret that, and I can interpret that. But it takes practice. How to interpret that energy and those thoughts, because the messages are very high vibrational, and so it just takes practice. If you're trying to learn about your origins, um, really just have a trust in yourself, and you can ask your higher self in meditation. um, I was thinking about doing guided meditations, and maybe that's something that I need to do, where we can go into guided meditation and ask our higher self to disclose information to us, be in a safe way, obviously.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can incorporate that into our podcast as well, as to put a little meditation time. I was thinking about giving Reiki as well. That we could have a moment at the end, perhaps, where we do a little Reiki circle kind of thing, for anybody that needs Reiki, anybody that would like Reiki, or if anybody wants to add their own Reiki to what
that
we're
kind
doing.
of this, because we can send Reiki to certain places. especially that need healing. I mean, right. I mean, the whole entire world, people, animals, and plants need healing, you know?
Yes, yes. I mean, well, everywhere I travel, and I always talk about this, but everywhere I travel, I'm putting hands down on the ground, putting hands, when I'm driving, I'm like this, I'm holding the steering wheel, I'm hands up like this. And, I see telephone poles and I'm loving light, loving light. The earth, giving and receiving at the same time. And then with the sun, I'm pulling that down into me, and then channeling it into the earth. And so that's always something that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Um, but it's funny because it's kind of like I want to go back to when I was talking about my little dragon
Yes.
friends.
Yes.
Um, I remember when they first revealed themselves to me. I freaked out. My husband has never seen me move so fast. And he was like, "What is going on?" And I literally had a meltdown. Oh my God, aliens are real. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like freaking out. Like everything was disclosed to me in that moment. And I went, and I can understand why they have to come to us gradually because I went into shock. I went into complete shock, and then I went into denial, and I went into the opposite of awakening, which was like wanting to put myself asleep because I was terrified. The experience with them was not scary. It was the realization that my entire reality was not what
Hijack.
I thought it was. Yes, it's kind of like, okay, when you're cheated on, in that moment when you find out the truth, and there's
Yeah.
no getting away from it, you can't deny it to yourself anymore. She's smack dab right in front of you. You walk in the door and there it is. There's no denying it, right?
Like
What does
now,
your mind what does your mind do the next moment? It starts, either you go into anger, you go into fear, you're running in the other direction, right? So you're trying to shut it down, you're trying to hide from it, or you face it, whatever it is. But I went into this denial state where I wanted to put myself back to sleep because it was too much. It was too much, and they saw that, and so they withdrew.
yeah.
So I think we we have to be really ready because if we ask for too much, they will give it to us. If we think we're ready, we're acting like we're ready, and then that moment that comes, you really have to be prepared. I don't think there's any way to really prepare yourself now that I think about it. Because when you're face to face with the real reality and it comes and you're like, oh my God, it really is real. Um, you have to then turn it into gratitude.
Then your
Gratitude.
memories are real. You're glad I wasn't crazy. I wasn't imagining things. Okay. Like just like Blake was saying, you've been
Yeah.
through the cosmos. Yes, you have. And the thing is, you go in the cosmos probably every night when you're sleeping. In
Yeah.
fact, you probably do that when you're daydreaming. Honestly, it's true. Like we travel all the time and we don't know it because of the veil of forgetfulness. But the
That's why
veil,
it's important when we go to sleep to ask for protection in the astral realms while we're traveling. Um, I ask for Archangel Michael to protect me in the astral realms. I ask for Jesus to protect my body. I ask for God to shine His light. I'm putting my light and protection all around me and my family as I sleep because we're in a vulnerable state. We're not conscious in our physical bodies. We might be conscious somewhere else. But it's important to put protection around us while we go to sleep as well. And then a lot of nights when I can't sleep, it's because my energetic work is needed. Because I go through a lot of nights where there's no sleep. Here lately, it's been getting good though. My husband last night or this morning, he says, "You slept really good last night, didn't you?" And I said, "I slept like a rock," and that's not normal for me. That hasn't been normal lately, where I just sleep and I'm like snoring. He says,
I'm
"I gotta
always,
go to bed
I
before you
always,
do."
I don't have a trouble sleeping. Like, okay, my last marriage with my first husband, I had to take medication to sleep. I couldn't sleep. I struggled. But now, ever since the current husband came in, I haven't needed anything to sleep. I just sleep and I sleep like a rock, just like you said. And nobody, you can't really wake me up. And that's the thing with my daughter too. She's the same way. Like nothing wakes us up. We're literally gone. And it takes a second to come back. When I wake her up, I have to just be very gentle, and I try to be gentle waking them up. and trying to bring them back into their body, because I recognize I am bringing them back into their body, and you don't want to be a jerk, like turning water on, spraying them.
Oh, I
Why?
know. I have no patience for my daughter in the morning. That's a good point because she's always like she sleeps so hard. Oh my gosh. And then this morning she woke up and she was in a good mood because I was like, I sang to her and I was real sweet to her and and then I put she wanted to wear a necklace, so I gave her an amethyst necklace and I was like, "You're my little crystal child." And she's like, "I'm not a crystal child." She's so
Yeah,
funny.
it's like, but
I said,
they,
"Yes, you
and
are." Hush it up.
it's fun though. Okay, so yeah, so I've had lifetimes there, and I feel like I might be even able to tap into a parallel lives that we have, because time is an illusion. Obviously, we know that. All past, present, and future is happening at the same time, so we can tap into that at any time. And the one thing that I learned early also was, it was probably me that was causing myself to feel like someone was watching me when I was younger, because I literally am going back and looking at myself in the past all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Thought about that? Like,
No.
boom.
But
Okay,
that
so
makes sense. Oh my
yes, so
gosh.
I've always felt like
Wow.
I was being watched, and I'm like, I'm watching my fucking self. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, you're sensing your own self. So maybe our higher selves are our future selves looking back on, you know what I mean? So we're
Even looking
guided
back on our past,
through time and space, we're guiding ourselves in the past. Wow.
and I'm
Wow.
able, you
Oh my
can go
gosh, I'm getting chills. I'm getting
places.
chills. I saw something the other day that says when you get chills that your body is recrystallizing. That your body is like crystallizing. So that's what chills and goosebumps are. I was like, wow, that is that is really cool.
So
I
back,
remember when I was a little kid going and sitting in the mirror and looking and saying, "Why me?" And I don't remember why. Who was I talking to, and what was I talking about? But I can't. I don't. I just kept saying, "Why? Why me? Why?" Like thinking, like, "Why do I have to do this?" Like I knew that there was something that I was meant to do in this life. Like I was talking to I don't remember the other side of it and what the context was, but I just remember asking, "Why am I chosen for this?" And I still don't know what this is or what you know what I mean? I just remember that experience of asking, why do I have to do this? And whatever this is, I don't know. But it's something significant because why as a child am I staring at the mirror and asking, why do I have to do this? And then I still remember that now because I have so many memories or so many things I don't remember. And that's one of the things that sticks out to me. But why? But I always did have that feeling that someone was watching me. I've had that my whole life that I've had and I it just the realization came to me the other day because all my fairy stuff and and seeing the little brownie guy in my garden, getting a picture of him. I realized that I've been hearing, like the borrowers, the movie or whatever, and these little people in your walls and stuff. I have heard those people my whole life thinking there was either nothing going on or I was crazy or just tried to quiet it down. I have always been clairaudient and able to connect to the fairy realm. And
yeah.
I just realized that the other day. And I'm going, I can see them and I take pictures. I've heard things moving around. I can connect with them and I'm like, that's what's been going on my whole life. And I've been terrified thinking something's coming to get me. And
Nope.
nothing's coming to get me.
Oh, and the thing is, it's because we, as a collective, and the Earth is ascending, and we're raising our vibrations, whether we acknowledge it or not. So over time, we're going to be able to see things that live in the other dimensions, like you said, the fairies. And it's not that they weren't there the entire time; it's that we don't have the ability to see them until we raise up our vibration to
Well,
match their
and
frequency.
as a child, I was able to connect with them. I just wasn't aware of what they were. And so it scared me. So
Yes.
now my daughter, on the other hand, she's had connections with things, and she won't sleep in her own room because she's terrified. She told me that there's a shadow man that's in her closet with yellow eyes. And honestly, I did a meditation last week, and that is coming from my fear of what happened to me as a child of my sexual molestation. I'm manifesting whatever's scaring her. And that came to me in a meditation the other day, and so that's something that I have to heal. But she's seeing it in a manifestation of something that's not real, and it's almost like I'm birthing this shadow figure, and then if she's willing to consent to it, then that thing can come into form and it can be manifested in something real. But she's not willing to consent to it, I'm not willing to consent to it. And so my awareness of it gives me the ability to heal it so that it doesn't have to travel through our family line anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. Fact. Truly. You can tell by the entities wanting to, if they are channeling, if they're really pushy,
Mhm.
I would say no. Because generally the friendly energies are not pushy, and they're really free flowing and gentle.
Yeah.
Gen-
Well, that's like I said, like they come to you and they show you something, and then if you're scared of it, they pull back. If something's coming to you and going and going and going and going, then you need protection up, because something's trying to get through. So but my guides, they come to me gracefully. They come to me a little, and they give me a little bit. And if I want it and I take it and I run with it and I show gratitude, then they give me more. But if I show fear, then they don't come back. Now, if something's coming at you and you're feeling fear and it's more fear, more fear, more fear, then that's definitely coming from darkness, and so protection is necessary. Um, and for me, I use black crystals, black candles, but I also back them up with white crystals and white candles, because the black absorbs and the white repels. So I don't want to carry around. When I first woke up, I was listening to Magenta Pixie, and she was talking about obsidian and crystals and things like that, especially for that thing to pull it out. So I was wearing a lot of black crystals. Well, I don't have any. I have one black crystal here now on my thing, but it's also surrounded by rose quartz and then aquamarine. I think that's aquamarine. I forget something. Anyway, um, but yeah, and then pink tiger's eye or cat's eye or something like that. But I don't just do black crystals anymore, because I don't want to absorb and keep that close to me. I want to absorb it and then repel it. I want to absorb it and send it off, because it's important for me not to keep those negative energies. Like I can draw them out, but then I need to get rid of them. So the white to repel and the black to absorb. So it's kind of, you got to do both, if that
yeah.
makes any sense. And speaking of all this, I'm gonna clear
Uh,
the airways just for a minute.
yeah, I'm actually doing the same thing with the crystal. So, what is it? Smoky quartz
Mm-hmm.
and angelite.
Smoky quartz is great because it's got the quartz qualities. So you've got like the repelling, and then it's also got the darkness. So for me, I think that kind of embodies both things. So obsidian and clear quartz kind of mixed together in one little crystal in a way. Not saying chemically or actually, I'm just saying
So that's a
yeah.
energetic.
Energetically, I feel like it's kind of the combination of those two. So
Yeah, that and also amethyst. I bring in amethyst because it has a calming effect. Amethyst and pink quartz, that is love, obvi, but this amethyst has a calming to it. So if you have like inflammation, things like that, you can bring in amethyst, excuse me. You can bring in the amethyst if you have.
And that correlates to the crown chakra. The one that I'm holding is sodalite, and this is intuition. And so for me, this is gonna work right here. I like a unicorn. But the sodalite is great for intuition, for connecting, intentions and intuition. So those work together. So you want to keep that third eye open. But yeah, this is one that I like to put on not this one particular. This one I like to put on my husband's forehead to kind of wake him up.
Like, you're so lucky. Like my husband does not participate, and so I
Mine
feel
doesn't willingly. I have to wait till he's sick, and he's got no other choice. And then I'm like, you got a headache? Here, this will make you feel better. It's cold. And he'll let me do Reiki on him, but he just sits there and he's like, well, it's relaxing. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot more than that, but we'll just go with it's relaxing. So as
Yeah.
far as for
So
living.
if people like Blake, we were talking about people tapping into you, honestly, it's really against universal law for people to tap into you. And if you tell them that, they usually get scared because
You gotta
you're
take your power back.
yeah, and take your power back. You can imagine yourself in a bubble that was placed there by source, and forget all the middleman. Just go straight to source and
Yep.
prime creator. Yeah. And just put yourself in a bubble and honestly just imagine in your imagination, visualize everything that anyone sends to you just gets reflected right back to them or mirrored back. Or you could just send it back with love. Either way. Um, yeah. And it was for me too, but I had to learn
Yeah.
I had to put bubbles around my energy and cut cords and attachments and tell people no, because otherwise they would be all over my energy like white on rice. And even people I don't know would be all over my energy like white on rice. I had cords to places, people, things that
Well,
out.
that's the thing that we don't realize is that we have black magic thrown at us from the moment we're born. Especially if you're one of the people who they see as a threat. Let's see, one of a starseed light worker, somebody that is meant to raise the vibration
Cosmic,
and change
galactic.
the world. Yeah, if you're one of us, one of these people who are born with a mission and they're aware of it, then you're going to be getting. And it's not just us. Everybody is getting hypnotized. Everybody, you look at the black box on your wall, and it's a hypnotist box. It is literally meant to cast. And we're walking around with these in our hands. So it's important to set the intentions, to clear and smudge, those things as well. So
Yeah, I get it. I understand. Yeah. Yep. Even songs too. Yeah, you're right. Because that's what they've done with the songs is they put stuff in it so that you get attached to it.
well, I
That's
think
how.
it was in 1950, I want to say 6, that they changed the frequency of music from the authentic, like an earth frequency, to something that is closed. So they went from this frequency to something like that. And so it's actually closing your mind. So if you think about mind closing or mind opening, you're it's definitely not going to do that. But I think that the music itself can change with the intentions of the people. So like for instance, there's let's say John Lennon. There's a lot
My
of hidden
God,
messages. There's a
stop
lot
it.
of hidden messages in his
Stop
music.
it.
Yeah.
I was
What?
just a name. I was just thinking that name. So I was like, stop it.
It's funny. But like the Beatles, and there's a lot of hidden messages in positive in these music. So even if they change the frequency of the rhythm and the tone, the wording can bring light. So it all comes down to your intention as the listener and their intention as the artist. So we can also change their intention, even if their intention are bad. Like I was saying with the liquid death water, whether it's having spells cast on it or not, I can walk by that water and take away that negativity and turn it into something positive with
Can I
my
tell you?
intentions.
Can I tell you something though? My monsters, all the monsters have those 3 lines. That's all 666 in Hebrew. Okay, so I mean it's already happening with other stuff. So
Yeah.
what we're trying to say is just be aware of what you're putting in your body because it's not all
And if you want to put those things in your body, that's fine. Just change the intention before you do so. When I take a drink of alcohol, which is not very often because I don't really enjoy lowering my vibration, but if I choose to ingest alcohol, I set an intention of it that I'm drinking for joy, and then I change the frequency of it. I change what I'm doing. However, there are some things like hard drugs and things like that we can try to change those intentions, but some of them are very, very strong. And so unless you have, really strong wizardly abilities, I don't suggest taking that road because
the
it's risky.
intention behind fentanyl right now is really bad, you guys. The
Yeah.
intention of fentanyl is really bad. Even this morning, someone passed away in Yucca Valley at the homeless encampment because, it is such a powerful drug that doesn't need to be out there on the street. and the people that have the borders open, just letting it happen. I'm not saying that that's the only cause or anything like that, obviously, because it comes from many places, but that's definitely a factor in what's happening here. And it's really sad, but the thing is that even those people, they know what they came to do, unfortunately, and if it's to die to prove a point to other people, then well, I
Let's go,
can't say
Brandon.
that. I
We're not.
honestly
Yeah,
talk
we don't
about
want to get kicked off the platform, but let's go. Let's go. B.
Big
Not
T.
not Mr. B, but the other B.
I will say, as far as the Mr. T goes, I wouldn't follow anybody. Okay, don't. We are to be focusing on ourselves.
Yeah.
And self mastery creates 5D, not the other way around. So we're not going to create 5D outside ourselves. I'm going to say that again. 5D created by self mastery. It's not going to happen by everyone focusing on everything outside. It has nothing to do with it. Mr. T is doing his part just like Mr. B is doing his part. There's no good, bad, and different. It's just polarity to help people wake up.
Now, as far as he's concerned, I have had a past life experience with a relative of his that I've talked to you
Remember,
about.
I remember
I'm not going to get into that because it's just that's kind of personal. Um, the
Mr.
current
Bee's in charge
the
of
current
the
robot in charge, the head robot in charge. Um,
current phone
yeah,
in charge.
yeah.
Whatever.
um, but as far as Mr. T is concerned, I have had my own experiences on an energetic level. Now, I do see a past life familial line there, and a connection where I do see that he was working kind of like I was in a sleep mode in the beginning, in the first phase of his life, and then I do see a change, an awakening in some sort. So what's interesting to me is the what Blake was saying, the Baron von, you know, um, because that to me speaks to time travel, and because there's been some things that I've seen about time travel and things like that, and I do think that that family line has capabilities that are quantum that go beyond what we are aware of. And so it's very interesting. There's some interesting things. I would definitely say research it on your own. Go down those rabbit holes and find out for yourself. And then you can also try to connect and that, but those are the types of things that we can really get into on here because it's very controversial. The name by itself is very controversial, and I don't think we want to get interest, into that. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I went through the I hate to say that because it's not even real. What do I say? Just in the beginning, I okay, my awakening included Mr. T, it
Mhm.
was, why is everyone like looking like, I don't know, I just didn't understand. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't get
I
it.
started waking up when they were storming the Capitol. That was when my awakening was happening. It
Yeah,
was right
I
in
was
that time
watching
frame.
I watched it on Facebook Live, I watched,
I
January.
watched it that morning, and the newscasters were saying it looks like it's going to be a violent day, and they were basically telling you. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it.
Yeah, it's true.
Um,
That, but there was literally nothing going on, and I watched the shaman. They call him the shaman. I'll just stick with that. Walking around, not, no problems. They were literally just getting a tour, as far as I could tell. And then all of a sudden, tear gas started going, and I was like, "What? Why are they shooting tear gas?" Like, I
well,
didn't get it because
yeah.
all
Well, what was
I'll
interesting to me was that the newscasters were telling us beforehand, watch this because it's going to be violent. Look, there's people dressed up as other people who aren't, and they were telling us what they were narrating for us, the story that was going to happen. And then when it all happened, they acted like they weren't telling, like they didn't already know, that was the interesting thing to me. And I'm sitting there watching going, are you people aware that 10 minutes, or at 10 o'clock this morning, you were telling us one thing, and now 2 days later, you're telling us that it was something completely different? Yeah, just insanity.
it's twisted. And what
So,
if into
Anyway,
that.
I don't know. I think we kind of got way off topic here. So.
Okay, we can talk about this because a lot of people are interested, and people are waking up to it more and more. And so we kind of got to be honest and safe with our wording. That's all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like, yeah, I feel like the only other thing I think, no, all I have to say about that is UFOs, as far as I'm concerned, if you go into UFOs, the US military has been creating them since World War II or whatever.
1948 is the first Roswell cover up.
I mean, they're owned, the UFOs that we've been seeing have been owned by the US government and other governments around the world. The ones we don't see are the ones that are cloaked in the atmosphere, they're there, which
See,
is what Pentagon.
I have different thought on that. My thought is that they were infiltrated, that our government was infiltrated at that point, and so whatever. But honestly, if you think about it, uh, we're we're all aliens. We've all been here for hundreds of thousands of years. We've all been seated, and honestly, a lot of our history has been hidden from us. So as far as just since 1947 or 40, whenever it is, it goes way beyond that. That's just in our recent history of the government being included with all of that. So
Just
I'm
like
gonna I'm
I
gonna
channel.
shuffle here and pull a little card. So whenever you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, we can get into like, I think a lot of good information comes from like looking up Operation Paperclip and different operations that were declassified from the military. Like when I first started doing research, I don't Google anything. I learned early on that Googling for research is looked down upon. And so I never did any type of Googling for research. Okay. Because in college, when I went to college multiple times, they were like, don't use Google to do any type of research for your thesis or anything like that. Use library. Well, or like I was using military,
Mhm.
so military information. Yeah. Do you want to?
I got
Got a minute?
answer the call. What is your calling? What is your soul calling you to do? That's the one that popped out. I was trying to get some more poppers, but that was the only one that really popped out. Um, yeah, I mean, I want to hark back on all of this. As far as all of this information, it's just information that's interesting. At the end of the day, whatever our mission is here, none of this has any bearing on it. Whatever you choose to believe is what's important for you. If you want to believe that UFOs are coming, then believe that and manifest that. If you want to believe that the sun is going to send a solar flare that's going to take out the earth, then believe that. If that's what you choose, it's not what I choose. But we really can manifest whatever it is that we choose to manifest. And I remember talking to Paul White Gold Eagle, Paul, when I first joined his Patreon in 2020, and talking to him, and he one thing that he said to me was, we can really manifest anything that we want. It can be whatever we want. If we want it to be UFOs coming from the sky, then that's what we can have. And I remember him saying that, and I was like, whoa. And that was right at the beginning of me waking up. So I didn't really understand the whole UFO thing. Um, yeah, let's not manifest Armageddon. I mean, if that's what some people choose, and that's what the news is trying to get a lot of people to believe right now with this fear propaganda, is let's all panic buy, and let's worry about the market crashing and all of these things. And I don't watch that stuff because I don't want to put any of my energy into it to give it fuel. It's like giving it gasoline, and I'm not interested in fueling those theories. I'm not interested in manifesting those things, so I don't focus on them. Yes.
Exactly, like for
Oh,
my
yeah. No, Blake, we are done. I mean, it's funny you said that. I think we were talking about this before, me and Blake, that Revelations, I read through, and maybe I was talking to you about it too, Joy, that Revelations, I read through it, a few weeks ago, the whole thing, in like an hour. And I was like, we're no longer in that. That's done. Like, that's not even this time frame. They're talking about something that they want to manifest all over again and start all over again. And I don't want cities of gold with stones lining the streets. I'm
Yeah.
not interested in any of that. I'm interested in a field full of flowers, running
Yes.
with my hair in the wind and the sun coming down. I'm not interested in any of the false promises that come with this book that's been changed by man. So maybe parts of it are based in truth, and some of it resonates, but a lot of it has been changed to the point where you have to know how to discern to really understand what's going on in it. And
Like,
yeah,
like the Bible was created in the beginning initially to share knowledge and wisdom and help.
by the people that, the Gnostics and the Essenes and those people that were around in that time, and then it got a hold, and then the people who did the killing got a hold of the information and what happens when kings and queens and people in power, or the Pope, they take over and they change the narrative, and it's his story, not the actual.
My,
My
my
friend
story.
said to me today that there's a difference between the past and history. That the past is what actually happened, and then history is what we say happened. So that was really interesting. That stuck out to me. I was like, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, as far as the Bible goes, like, yeah, they picked it apart, pulled out information. When I first woke up, one of the things I had to, because I was raised Southern Baptist, my parents were very religious, so I had to do this research. And once I found out, like, the Book of Enoch, the Book of Thomas, the Mary Magdalene scripts, okay, those are real and true.
Yeah. I listened to the Book of Judas on YouTube, and I was like, this is scary. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. The other books I was good with. I love the Book of Mary Magdalene, even though it's just parts, but it revealed to me basically that I don't want to I don't know how to say this. Let me see. Um, I know I'm trying to word it without having to offend people, but basically, that, let's just say, Peter saw things a different way than reality, and our let's just say a lot of the faiths all over the world are based on Peter's word and not reality. And that resonated, or that kind of came to me. That realization came to me in reading or listening to the Book
Yep.
of Mary
Because
Magdalene.
having gone through the Bible myself, you can tell that, and having had, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? So through the years and going to church and listening to the Bible, there have been passages and information in there that has lit fire up in me. So it has definitely physically energized my energetic fields, okay, or my chakras.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
parts that are still truth that resonate with you.
Yes, the
Mhm.
parts that were real. So I can't say, and I got to be honest with you, most of the Old Testament, just throw it away. Just, I hate to say burn it, but burn it, get rid of it, because it's irrelevant.
It's
And
history.
the stuff
It's
the
his
stuff that's in
story.
the New Testament,
Yeah.
the stuff that's in the New Testament is still very twisted and incomplete. It's incomplete. It gets
Well,
you
they
started.
took two different religions and then tried to make the new religion into the old religion but none of it makes sense. There's all these different beings.
Commandments.
There are all these different beings that they're naming the same thing as God, and then you read it and you're going, this God, that God, this God, that God. They're all contradicting each other.
It's not
When I hear people say, I'm a God fearing Christian, and I go, why?
want to
Why
fear
are
God.
you afraid of your God? If you're afraid of your God, that's not the right God for me.
Not my God.
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid of my God. I would be afraid of alien entities who are posing as God, or negative, things.
Our
Uh,
term, our word for God is is. I need
Elohim.
to go. I can't go into English right now because I don't have time in the day.
I
Because
think we're
English,
I think we're at an hour and 14 minutes anyway.
I know, and English was created literally to take the magic out and put black magic in. So, when we talk about words in English and trying to translate shit and put things into word, like they literally have taken source out of our language basically, and they put in black magic. I don't know. I don't remember where I was going because
Well,
I have.
if you go, I was watching something on YouTube. It was, I think, a Jewish a rabbi who was going through the Bible and talking about different things with I want to say the book of Genesis. And he was talking about it might have been something different, but he was talking about the Elohim, and explaining that Elohim means the powerful ones. That it's
Our
a plural. That Elohim, which is what they translated to God, it means the powerful ones. It's not singular. So if you think about that and then read the Bible, instead of saying God, say the powerful ones. Well, who are the powerful ones? We're talking about ETs. We're not talking about the source of all creation. We're talking about the ETs, that negative alien agenda, the entities that are here, that are wanting you to pay tribute, to sacrifice all of these things, and then somebody comes along and says, no, the real God is love. Well, what do? They kill him, and then they take all of his wording, put it into their narrative, and change all the old wording so that it looks like there's just one God, because he said there was one God that's all love. Well, now there's a new God that's changed, but it's the same as the old God. No, no, it
really
wasn't
think your
one God.
gonna tell you to go sacrifice your son.
No,
And
absolutely not. My God would never ask me to sacrifice anything. In fact,
things.
when I was asked, when I was initiated into the Galactic Federation, the question that was asked of me was, would you do you want this for yourself, or do you want this for your children? Do you want this as basically, are you selfish in this, or are you self-sacrificing? So it's the opposite. You know what I mean? Like, in my answer, of course, was that I don't care if I have this for myself. I don't care if the awakening comes for me. I would rather have a wonderful life for my children and the next generation. And in that answer was like my pass. I passed the test for them, basically saying that no, I don't want the power for myself. No, I don't want this golden age for myself. If I have it for myself, that'd be great. But as far as the future generations,
That reminds me too, because like we've been going through this initiation, which is, I guess, it's a spiritual initiation. If you're on the spiritual path, then you understand what I'm talking about. If you're not,
it's not somebody came to us and initiated us. This is
something
our
that
own
whole life.
connection with Source.
Like we literally have been going through shit to level up and be the better person. Because yeah. Anyways, what was it? Bug.
Lost train of thought. I think we're over. We're at 117. Our favorite number, 117. We like to go to 77 every time.
So
that's like that's going to be our new time, right at 177. So anyway, I think maybe we should wrap it up and call it a day. What do you think? Love you too, Blake. Thanks for tuning in.
I don't remember. Oh yeah, when I first woke up and I was like learning about the UFOs and I was looking into the Galactic Federation, and I was like, what is the Galactic Federation? And I started doing my own research, and you can Google that because it'll come up. And I got this book. Like, okay, I was learning about the New Jerusalem, and then I went and I had my kids. That's awesome. I hope she does too. I will in just a second. I'll pull a card for you in just a second. But I went to the school and they were like getting rid of these books. They were just giving them away. Mm-hmm. So I was like, really, Venus, and it tied into the New Jerusalem. And the New Jerusalem, I found out, is a spaceship. It's a mothership. And it's been stationed outside of Venus since probably our creation or longer. They've been there the whole time, and the light that we see from Venus isn't actually Venus, it's the spaceship, and that's what this research paper went on to say, and I shared that in the description. But anyway, so I was reading that, learning about all that, and then I found this book at the school about Venus, and I was just like, Seriously, it's been at the school since 1990, and it ended up in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's God working. Like, how does that happen? You
That's
don't
cool.
just, yeah, I did a video on that a while back. It's one of my popular videos on the New Jerusalem. It was like 300 some views, but I made that way back in 2020 because I was literally beside myself, mind blown. Literally, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe this book found me right after I found out about the New Jerusalem and that it was stationed in front of Venus. And then I got this book on Venus, and I'm like, how does that happen? I mean, this book was written, when was this book written? Hold on.
I'm pretty
That's
sure that Venus is 12D. I'm pretty sure that's 12D Venusian. I'm gonna say like Elven, something like that. I
fucking
might
be
be
blown
wrong.
away. Be blown away. Are you ready to be blown away?
Yes.
This book from Isaac, 1920. Not that it's accurate, but 19 fucking 20. And then it ends up in my hands after I find out about the New Jerusalem being stationed in front of Venus. Like, I was like, oh my God. Okay, so let me pull a card or two.
All right, and then we got to wrap it up because I think we're going over time today.
Back
But I
up.
mean, there's so much we could talk about. So I mean,
Oh, I see courage. Oh. It looks like you're being asked to take courage. So maybe it's something that you need to reach out to. Does she know that you have a crush on her? Does, because I'm seeing courage. So you might need to find the courage to go to her, and be honest. Always be honest about your feelings. I know that that's like the hardest fucking thing, especially for masculine. I'm so sorry that society has put you guys in such a fucking predicament where you have to shut off your emotions and you have to just be this fucking strong person. I'm sorry. That fucking is bullshit. But what it looks like here, Blake, is to have courage, take heart, and let her know how you feel, and be out and open and lay your cards on the table. Good. You're already doing your part. And if it's meant to be, then she will follow up. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. Take into consideration what she's going through. If she's with someone, if she's been with anybody, she may have baggage that she needs to take care of. So she might not be hearing you all the way, because people that don't deal with their trauma can't see trauma. Okay. It's like they have their blinders on. So if you have been hurt and you haven't dealt with your shit, you can't see that. Okay. It's just something that you automatically oversee and overlook. But,
yeah, I'm glad you're doing the reading for him because he's in my Patreon or my Discord chat. So yeah, that's yeah from Paul White Gold Eagle. So I think I know a little bit too much about the situation to do my own reading on him.
and I got new vision again, and it came up twice. So don't give up. It's Spirit's really saying to keep your eye on your vision. I understand.
I
But
know
it's still
Blake is really good into poetry and writing and stuff. Where I am more into art, and I can't really find the words. You know what I mean? Like I do a lot of my transmuting through art. I think Blake does a lot of his energy work through his words and his poems.
mine are through my words too. I have learned to articulate and have the ability to teach people on multiple levels. And I learned that a long time ago when I was a trainer, teaching people how to use like computer programs and stuff. When I was learning, like I was a trainer for like DirecTV and stuff. And I'm like, I just have this ability to teach people like on their level. Like I can come down to their level or whatever level they are. It doesn't matter if it's higher or lower. It
Oh
doesn't
my
matter.
gosh. I just got chills, and this card literally, did you see that card just fly out of my deck? It literally, I've never had a card jump like that.
Okay,
It
tell
just
me.
jumped. Honor and trust your feelings. And then there's a little prayer at the bottom. Okay, can you read it? Because it's backwards to me. So
Thank you, Archangel Michael, for supporting, guiding, and protecting me as I listen to and act upon my feelings. Help me to understand and express my emotions with love. Wow.
yeah, I think that's, I mean, I've never, and it's got the Merkaba right in the middle. Look at that.
I'm here. I felt that. I feel it.
No, it literally jumped. I've never, like, you should have felt it. Like there was a wind that pushed this card out of the pile. I have never experienced that before. That was amazing. Wow, I'm grateful. That was cool.
Like energy and love back to the people in the audience and anyone that watch it too.
Honor and trust your feelings. That is our card for the day. And with that, I think we should call it a day. I'm going to enjoy the sunshine because it was supposed to be cloudy and it is sunny. I don't know if you can see, but it is beautiful out there, and I'm going to go in that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, day, whenever you see this, night, whenever this is watched. We're grateful for you. Thank you. Namaste. Love you, love you, love you.
I love you, and I will see you soon.
All right, we'll
Bye.
talk to you guys soon. Bye.